Feel the feet, bend the knees, feel the feet. Feel both feet, inhale. Maybe arms a little higher. So release. Adding the breath. So the ujjayi, the constricting of the throat, you want it loud enough that you can hear it and not much louder. So the Yoga Sutras says the breath should be long and subtle. Virga, long, and sukshma, subtle. You can think of the subtle as being soft, not harsh. Maybe starting to increase that thoracic mobility, which we now know seems to help with pain resilience, stress resilience. Give us increased sense of well-being, and a sense of empowerment also to open the chest, neck and shoulders. Just keep this going in your own timing. Inhale, expanding, exhale, contracting, gradually bringing the arms up if it feels comfortable. Some of you have injuries today, so don't bring it beyond a point where you might be starting to sense that your neck is tightening. Don't do that. On the exhale, feel the feet, the legs and feet. Focus today. Inhale, feel the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Just integrating that today based on who's in the Zoom room. New kind of room that we're all teaching in. And just finishing up. Finding your samastiti. Inhale, arms coming up. Stretch way up. And exhale, coming down. I'm just going to move back to my mat so you can see my feet a bit better. Keep this going. Your feet can be together or hip width apart. And then maybe you're coming up onto your toes for some balance. So if you're outside like me, I'm just going to straighten myself so that I can feel some firm earth underneath me. Timing the movement of the arms with the legs and feet if you can. Inhale, coming up, palms together, if that works, and stretching up to the sky, stretching both sides long. And exhale, coming down, legs straight, or you can have that bend and release of the neck and shoulders. Next time we're going to stay, or you can keep it moving. Exhale, just bring the heels down and stretch the arms up. Stretch through the side body. Inhale, coming up is for the upper back. And then coming up and down. The heels, it's very strengthening for the ankles, the legs, the hips, and builds proprioception. We have these nerve bundles throughout the body. They're constantly evaluating where we are in space. It's really important to work those. They keep us safe. When our feet hit maybe an uneven surface or an unexpected step. Fall resilience, very important, especially as we age. And if you like, just staying in the pose, full Tadasana. And when you're ready, coming down. The next one I'm going to do a little closer to you. So we're going to keep working on balancing. Inhale, the arms coming up in front. And exhale, bring one leg up. Whatever one you choose, your arms coming down. Inhale, arms coming up, finding your samastiti on both feet. Chin down if that works for you. Exhale, other side. Just marching side to side. If this is too hard right now, just try with your leg bent. This should be easier. You might want to do that first, just as a warm up before you move to the straight leg, which is definitely a lot harder. Try to move from the core. So exhaling from the bottom up. You can have that ha breath. And try to close the mouth and breathe through the nose. And find that more subtle breath. You can try actually pointing the foot on that exhale movement and inhale up. And just one more round. Really pulling up as you bring that foot down, placing the foot. And release samastiti. Bend your knees. Release neck and shoulders. Just rest for a minute. Feel your feet. Feel your legs. And when you're ready, we're going to move to the sides. Inhale, arms coming up to your sides. Exhale, one leg coming to the side as your arms come down. Try not to tip over. So try to keep up nice and straight. Inhale. And exhale, if you like, you can point that toe. Again, try not to lean over. Try to stay up nice and straight. And inhale, pulling way, way up and lift the leg and then put it down. Just going your own timing. And usually it's a little easier to keep the gaze down at about 6 to 12 feet in front of you. This is also working with bilateral stimulation. It's great for the nervous system and the brain, as well as rhythmic movement. Also great for the nervous system, the brain, and stress resilience, and also pain resilience. We're obviously working on strengthening the abductors, adductors of the leg muscles. And working on proprioception, our balance, those nerve bundles firing, saying, where are you in space? I'm going to keep you safe. And Finishing up. Your body, mind loves to dance, loves to move in rhythmic ways. You find this in all cultures, I would say. There's some sense of dance, music, movement. We're going to move into the back now. Inhale, arms coming up the front to any height. So if you don't feel comfortable, just don't bring your arms all the way up. Or you don't have to move them at all. Exhale, starting to tip forward, one leg back, and bringing your hands in line with your hips. Make sure the side. So if you've got a mat, I've got these planks of our deck. It's great to have those kinds of visuals to keep you straight as alignment cues. Just going your own timing. Might have a little tip here and there, that's normal. This is also a core exercise. As soon as you move away from the center, tip the body back and forth, you're working the core stability, the entire core from the pelvic floor all the way up the spine. So the core is the entire central channel. Notice if one side's different than the other in terms of your ability to balance. And all this balancing creates focus, concentration in the mind. And then just finishing up. So if you ever need to be kind of one-pointed in what you're doing, you're having one of those days where you need to be very efficient and focused and concentrated, the balancing practices can be very good for reining your energy in and containing it and centering you. Just notice how you feel. Just notice if that statement resonates with what you're experiencing right now. Bend your knees, feel your feet. Straighten your legs, bend. Okay, so we're going to move into some warrior with some thoracic movement and a little bit of balancing for fun. We haven't done this in a while, what I'm about to teach you. I'm going to go to my mat for this one. So turning my right foot out, left foot forward. You're going to bend that front knee, that left knee over the ankle no further than the toes. So you can have the knee extending forward, but not beyond the toes. And the back foot, just feeling that little close side of the foot. Making your stance wider or longer as needed. And inhale, we're going to open up that thoracic spine, the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And exhale, we're going to come forward. Just see if we can balance. So bring the hands down. Inhale, bring that back foot back and open up. So if this is too much, I'm just going to say you can modify by just doing something like this, keeping that back foot down. can, as you exhale, come forward like you're flying and then release the hands down. And then inhale, place that back foot back and open up. Combining the upper back movement with the balancing movement. That back hip, try to keep it square when you come up. Just do one more. You might be getting a little sore in that left foot about now. A lot of work for the ankle, the hip. Let's just do a forward bend. And feel the back of the leg. Inhale, arching the spine up. Exhale, forward bend. You could do this with your hands on a chair. Also, so this whole balancing sequence, you could use a chair, put your hands on. Put your hands on a chair right now and be halfway like this. Hands on a block, or blocks rather. Back foot could be parallel to work more with the calf stretch. And when you're ready, let's just step forward and make it a little easier. Roll that very gently. Recalibrate blood pressure. Notice how you feel. You probably feel that left leg quite activated now. This bilateral work is really great for the hips as well. Balancing the hips for those of you with imbalances in your hips. We're going to do the other side. Left heel to right heel, stepping forward with your right foot. And adjusting your stance to comfort. How long, how wide, back heel, how parallel to the front or how turned out? What feels good for your body today? Just finding that foundation of the pose. And then when you're ready, inhale, arms at the sides, opening up. And exhale, and you come forward. So you can probably see this is my harder side. That's the most.
Maggie, there's no picture.
I think Maggie Feist has her mic on, and so it goes to her screen. I have the same problem.
Sorry? Barbara?
Maggie Feist hasn't muted herself, so when you don't speak, it picks up her screen as the speaker.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we lost your video.
Now we have it. No, we can see you. I can see you.
Okay, I just muted Margaret and Maggie. Okay, thank you. Everyone else good? You see me? Okay. I'll have to edit this part out of the video. That should be fun. Okay. Heading back. All right, let's pretend we finished that side. I think we finished that. All right, let's do a forward bend. So find your feet parallel. And let's just do a forward bend to relax all of that. So do this a little closer to you. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, let's have the arms side. Let's create a circle. And exhale, if you like forward bend, you can do that namaste position that we do in sun salutations. Just doing this in your own timing. Feeling the backs of the legs stretching when you come down. And bending the knees as needed, tracking the knees over second toes approximately. Each round you might feel like you're getting a little bit more flexible. You warm everything up. And then we're going to stay at the bottom. And we're going to work with that Apana Vayu, that downward flow of energy, that grounding, rooting energy. We just call it parasympathetic nervous system response in the West. The yogis, they called it the rooting energy. For those of you who are gardeners, it's the rooting energy of a carrot or a beet. Something that roots down into the ground, as opposed to the upward energy, which is more like kale or lettuce growing up and out, or a vine expanding. So that rooting energy, find your feet, head lower than the heart, unless you have a reason not to do that for blood pressure or heart disease issues. Work with the upper back, neck, and shoulders again. Just step one, inhale, arms at the sides, and bend the elbows. Draw the shoulder blades together and bring the elbows up. Come halfway up. This is step one. Inhale here, exhale, release down. Keep that going, inhale. If you like, you can add a little lift of the head. If that doesn't hurt your neck, that can help you get into the thoracic spine a bit more. Slight movement of the head helps reverse that upper curve that we have in the upper back. Okay, so that might be your pose. Moving on, arms at the side and straight in a T. If that feels easy, try the next step. Hold opposite elbows. Inhale, arms along the ears. This is great for that kyphosis, that upper back rounding. Exhale, release. Inhale, move the arms in line with the ears. Come halfway up. So again, for those of you with neck and shoulder issues, this might be too much today. Keep the arms at the sides. You want to keep it really easy. You can just have the hands on the backs of the legs or the fronts of the legs. So that's another modification. Make it a little easier. Harder still, interlock those fingers and inhale, come halfway up with the interlocked fingers. I learned this from an 81-year-old yogi this last trip to India. Rama Swami Srivastava turned 81 today. Direct student of Krishnamacharya's. It was a great privilege to study with him this trip. And he used this a lot, and he said it was very good for scoliosis, any imbalances in the upper back. When you're ready, coming out of that, it's also very strengthening for the lower back. Whew. So I've been bringing that into my own practice a lot to work on. You talk about one side feeling a little crunched up, just working on that lengthening. So you can do it with your hands together, opposite elbows, or just simply flossing through the upper body. Okay, so moving on. All right. So we're going to move into some triangle. We're going to work a little more classically today. So we're going to bring that left foot forward, turning the right foot out. And we're just going to do one side at a time. And some of you might move into a balance with this. So you're going to inhale and bring your arms up. Exhale, you're going to move into your triangle. Inhale, coming up. So we're going to start easy. So this might be as far as you go today. Now, if you have a chair available or a table, I've got a great prop right here. When you go to this balance, you could just hold, you could also use a wall. Just hold that rail or that chair or that wall. So you can play with that. Up and exhale. See what that feels like today. If it's too much, just do regular Trikonasana. We're going to add a little exhale at the end of that. It's quite a bit of work. I don't know about you, but I'm getting hot. I'm going to have to expose my 50-year-old arms. Inhale and exhale. And the hand can be here. The hand can also be on the hip, at the lower back, palm down or palm up. Just taking a break in between. Okay, now you might want to stay here and breathe. So your hand could be on the seat of a chair. Now, classically, we do this. You want to do that. I usually do this with a block, but I don't seem to have a block. They're all under my computer this morning. So you're in a different service. So you can do this with your hand on the floor. And this is a variation of Utthita Trikonasana. So this one's a little challenging for me to do on the floor, but I'm going to give it a shot. Sometimes it's called half moon. So you can see that one's a little tougher. All right, let's do the other side. So I'm going to use my wall here. This one. See what that looks like with a wall, a little tougher, but we're at home. We can play with these things. Inhale here, exhale, going into your triangle first. Let's just start with that. This is step one. This top arm can be down. If it's not working for you, you can just work with one arm. Inhale here, exhale, extend long, come down, or that arm up, It's not hurting your neck and shoulders. So doing that around 3 times. Okay, we're going to start with the balance now. Take that break in between. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, finding your place. So you might need to see where that is. Begin with. Again, each side is different. This side is my harder side. A little harder for me to find that place. So if you have that in your own experience, don't worry. It's just normal. So I'm modifying a little bit by having my shoulders forward and then rotating to find the full pose. And then seeing if I can find the arm. And as you do it, you might find that you can get into it a little bit more easily. Start to find your body in space. Whew. Arms up. So finding balance point. Last one, we're going to stay. You can stay at the wall, or you can use a countertop chair. Those are great props for this. Just finding your pose. Are you going to add the arm or not? Are you going to bring the hand down? I'm not on this side because I know that's not going to work today. Trying to align your shoulders. And release. Okay, feet facing forward. Let's do a forward bend. Inhale, arms coming up. Exhale, coming down. Bend the knees as needed. Inhale, coming up, arms side, all the way overhead, maybe adding a lift of the chest. Exhale, Apana-vayu, rooting down. Let's stay forward. So I'm going to add again upper back, neck, and shoulders. Bring the hands forward as if you're going to do an up dog. Arms straight. And inhale. Bring your weight forward onto your hands. Notice angle your fingers out if this hurts your wrists. And look up and exhale. Bring the hips back and stretch through the upper back, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, arching up. Exhale, stretching back as if someone's drawing your hips back. Feeling the legs and feet as you exhale. Inhale, feeling the upper back, neck, and shoulders. And then feeling both of them. You feel both the upper back, neck and shoulders, as well as the legs and feet as you do this. Inhale, maybe looking up, and exhale, nodding down to work with nerve flossing. The neck. Ready. Bend the knees, bring the hands to the thighs. Exhale here. Inhale, coming up. And finding your samsthiti, you might be feeling your ankles quite a bit. How are you all doing? Okay, so notice your feet now. If you have one of your feet that you tend not to weight on so much, just notice if you're feeling it a bit more now, a little bit more in the center. That would be a normal experience. We're going to stretch those calves now. So I'm going to use my rail here, which is a great prop I use in my yoga all the time. This is my usual yoga spot now this summer. Is outside. I've moved from a yoga room outside. If you have that opportunity, it's a wonderful one. Just going to work with stretching the back calf. So you could be using a wall, you could be using a chair, a counter, just finding some sort of prop. Over here so you can see me a little bit better. And I'm going to rest my forehead on this rail. If your arms are on a wall, you could do like this or like this. Your hands could be on a chair as well. I'm looking at my back foot, seeing if it's parallel to my front. And make sure you're feeling your back calf. So adjust, maybe bringing it further back or further forward to comfort. Inhale here. And exhale, bend that back knee if that's comfortable for you. And inhale, extend. And exhale, bend the back knee. You can bend it just a little bit, feeling the ankle and the deeper calf muscle, the soleus. We're going to switch sides, forward, back with the other foot. One leg might be quite different than the other. Just honoring that, not criticizing it, not worrying about it, just honoring it. Ready, exhale, bending that back knee a little bit so you feel into your ankle and that deeper calf muscle, that soleus, that deeper calf muscle. Maybe lengthening your stride a bit. We've got an eagle in our midst. If you can hear that, we've got an eagle. Special cry of the eagle. Inhale. And exhale. And when you feel like you've done about the same on both sides, just stretch back in the spinal stretch. So your hands can be at a wall, on the back of the chair, on the seat of the chair, feeling length in the lats, underneath the armpits, all the way down the back. Moving your hips side to side, just to get into that area. Some of you expressed a bit of tightness right here. moving your hips side to side. You can always bend your knees. Bend one knee. You can also turn your head towards the side that you're moving your hips towards. That feels good to add that piece, turning the head as well. And then sustain your inhale, looking up. Exhale, looking down, bend the knees. Inhale, looking up, working with the upper back, neck and shoulders again, bringing that in today. As a number of you have that going on in your bodies today, so integrating that with legs and feet. Inhale, looking up, exhale, looking down. Bend the knees as you exhale. When you're ready, release from that. Hands on your thighs, coming up, finding your samsthiti. Move to the ground. Notice how you feel. I'm going to really stretch those legs on the ground now. Okay, so just find your place on the mat. Try to come a little closer to you. And I'm going to angle my camera down. I hope that helps you all. And have your belt and cushion available for those props. So we're going to start, it's just getting too comfortable. We're going to start with that belt on the feet that I use a lot for strengthening around the knees. One of my favorite ways to do this. And as an add-on, if you want to work a little harder, you put the pillow under the thighs, that's the hardest, or easier just under the knees. First of all, just bring the little toe side of the foot out into the belt. Inhale, arms up, pointing the toes. My heels are off the ground the whole time. Easier is you have the heels on the ground the whole time. Exhale, hands down by my side, so you can make it harder or easier. Tadaka Mudra. Inhale, lengthen. The arms coming up overhead doesn't work. Do whatever feels comfortable for the arms. So it might be just moving the arms, palms facing up or down just a little bit to the sides. And then exhale down by your hips. Another option. This pose is surprisingly challenging. And for those of you with knee issues, I really recommend trying to do this once a day. Notice quite a change. You got one side a little weaker than the other. Put your mind on that side and try to press out a bit more on that side. You might feel this all the way into the sides of the hips. And just finishing up, relax the legs, relax the arms. Release that belt. And move the cushion if you've got it. You can always have a cushion or blanket under the head. I'm not there to check all your necks, but if your chin is facing up to the sky, that's probably an indication that you need a little bit of cushion under the back of the head to bring the chin down more in line with the chest. So if you need that, just hold a blanket or put a cushion of whatever height works for you. You're in all the lying poses, supine poses. Okay, so we're going to move with the legs to the sides. So I'm going to have my palms down for this one, a bit more stability. You can also have them up. So inhale, you're going to point the toes and bring the leg to the side and try to keep that knee facing up. Really want to turn out, try to keep it facing up. And exhale, flex the foot, and if anything, angle the toes in towards the other foot. And release. I'm going to point both toes as I inhale and flex both sets of toes. As I exhale, just make it a bit more symmetric. Exhale, again, feel like you're angling the toes in towards the inner foot. Keep that going side to side. Inhale, opening. You won't be able to open very much if you keep the knee facing up. Exhale, closing. Now as you close, try to feel out Mula and Uddiyana Bandha, those locks. From the pelvic floor to the stomach. Inhale, opening. And exhale, centering. So this is getting into the upper legs, into the hips, as well as whole leg and feet. Use this one for the knees. Work on abduction, abduction, strengthening inside and outside of the knees, as well as the hips. Notice one side's different than the other. Just resting for a minute. Just checking in that you can all hear me okay. All right. So moving on. You're going to bend your knees. Last week, I believe we worked with the belt on the thighs. This time we're going to work with the cushion between the thighs. So you can choose either. If you know you want to work more on pressing out, you can use a belt and press out into the belt. If you want to work more on hugging in, use a block or a cushion. Try one leg at a time, focusing on one leg at a time. So you're going to bring the left foot forward. And you're going to inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, come down. So with my left foot forward, I'm feeling more strength work on my right side, more flexibility on my left. This is also strengthening for the hamstrings. If you tend to be very flexible in the backs of your legs, this can help balance that out and give more flexibility to the front of the legs, the thighs. Play with where that front foot is. Bring it a little further out and see the difference. And lift as high as you can on the inhale. This one works with one hip at a time, stretching and strengthening the opposite leg, thigh, knee. We're going to switch sides. Okay, do a bit more. If you're finding it's a bit too narrow, you can use a wider pillow, cushion, block. Usually use those foam hard blocks for this one in class. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, rooting down. This one, my right foot forward, stretching more that right hip and strengthening the left leg. Opening the hip and strengthening the leg. Just finishing that. Move that cushion. Rest for a minute. Focus more on the feet and the ankles in a second. Last year I've been learning about how previous injuries, for example, twisting an ankle in your 20s, it didn't heal exactly evenly. It could have long-term effects up the chain, through the hip, all the way up into the upper body. So good news is we can always keep working with these things once we discover them. So we're going to strengthen those ankles a bit as well as the legs. We're going to put that belt on the ankles, and I've got the feet about hip-width apart, like I do in the Tadaka Mudra, where we point and flex the feet. And place it on a place that's comfortable so the ankle doesn't feel so good. Put it a little higher. You could have a block between your legs to keep that distance, or a cushion if you want. I'm actually not going to do that today, but that's an option. And you could tie that block in with another belt to create more stability in the pelvis if you have an unstable pelvis. So you're going to inhale, lift up. Feel those feet. Exhale, stay. Inhale, come up on the toes and lift up higher. Exhale, stay. Inhale, try to lift a little higher down. And exhale, just roll it down. So we're focusing a bit more on the body now than the breath. Try that again. So this is very strengthening for the ankles, the legs, the hips, the back, and it opens the whole front body. So inhale, coming up with your heels down. Exhale, stay. Inhale, come up onto the toes. Lift the hips higher. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift higher still. And exhale, rolling down. For those of you with scoliosis, you feel like you're kind of tipping towards one side, you could put a little blanket I do this in my own practice. I'm not showing this because it's my own modification, but put a half fold of blanket underneath that side that's concave that you're tipping towards to prop it up. So just keep that in mind if you like. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, stay. Feel those feet. Maybe walk your shoulders in, even a little deeper. Inhale, lift the toes. Lift the hips. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift higher still. Exhale, roll down. Notice where you're feeling this. Might be your legs, might be your back. And one more round. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, stay. Maybe tucking the shoulders under. Inhale, lift up the heels. Come up on the toes. Lift the hips higher. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift higher still. And exhale, come down. And remove that belt. And rest. Angle the knees in if you like, or knees over ankles, just rest. Okay, we're going to do one more bridge pose. I know I'm working you hard today. And then we're going to move more into stretching. So for this one, I like to have the feet together, but you could have the feet hip width apart. If this is too much, I'm going to just show you stage one, which is inhale, lift the hips up, exhale, come down. We're going to add some leg movement. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, stay. Inhale, try to extend one leg out. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, lift it to the sky or out. Exhale, bring it down. Other side. Inhale, lift the leg out in front of you. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, up to the sky. Exhale, foot down. Inhale, lift both hips up. Exhale, come down. I'm actually, my body's wanting me to do this with my feet hip width apart today, so you might also make that choice. Just see which one feels better for you. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, stay. Inhale, extend one leg out. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, step it down, foot down. Notice if one side's harder than the other. Inhale. Extend the other leg out. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, roll down. Do one more round. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, stay. Inhale, extend one leg out. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, lift it up, lift higher still. Exhale, down. Other side, inhale, extend it. Exhale, bend it in. Inhale, lift it up. Modify neck and shoulders. You can create cactus arms. Tuck your shoulders under. If you like, you can interlock the fingers underneath you. Go deeper still. And breathe. If you want to add on the inhale, you can lift the heels up and lift higher. Then to the upper back, neck and shoulders and the legs. And exhale, bring the heels down. So play with that. Strengthening for the lower back, strengthening for the legs, opening of the chest. When you're ready, coming down. Rest. Just do a windshield wiper to move side to side with the hips as our counter. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the knees to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Release the lower back, the hips. Just going side to side. And just staying on one side if you like. I'll show this on the other side so you can see it. For those of you who are a bit more flexible, you could, for example, bring that outside foot on top of the inside leg. Or you can also play, not having that lock, is just walking that heel of the right foot and twist it to the left. So that outside foot a little closer to you. And I'm going to show you the full version in case this is an option for you. But any movement of that foot back, you're going to be able to stretch that thigh a bit more. Okay, so you don't have to move it very far and you can keep it flexed. I'm going to stretch my arms overhead. You could have that opposite knee up. Ekapada Virasana is the Sutta version. Stretch the thigh. But again, you can just get into it through your windshield wiper and just walking that outside heel a little bit closer to you. Or you can just have the outside foot on top of the thigh. For medicine. It's my favorite pose to do after cycling. For those of you who are doing cycling, thighs might get a little tight. Switch sides. So if you're in the windshield wiper, you just move to the other side. So even that windshield wiper, inhale, extending the hip side, exhale, releases, stretching that thigh. Take it up a notch, putting the outside heel on top. That leg, you have a prop underneath, for example, a pillow. Can be helpful. Or you can walk that heel a little bit closer to you, to your buttocks. You can do the full one where I'm in the Supta Virasana, my heels beside my buttocks and I'm coming down. So be careful, that's quite strong. You can also have your hand under the other side, that other hip, to intensify it. For medicine, quite strong. This full version I'm showing also stretches the foot. Arch of the foot. When you feel ready, coming out of the pose, whatever version you chose of all of that, find your happy baby. So you can hold just the thighs. This great version of this pose with the hands or interlocking the fingers, stretching out the lower back. And you can hold the ankles, calves, and keep the feet parallel. So I'm rotating my calves out. Feeling that in the lower back. If you can, the little toe side of each foot. Keeping the buttocks down, the tailbone down. Decompressing the lower back. Arching the back with all those poses. We just want to lengthen the lowest part of the back. And if those of you want to add on, if you've got the flexibility, you can stretch your legs. To the sides, you could be holding the big toes. If you get more length, you could be using a belt on each foot. If you want to add on, you can bring your feet together. So again, you could do this holding the big toes. Hold each foot with a belt. Or just stay in your happy baby. I'll end with her legs to the sky, hands to the sky. Just rest here. When you're ready, either legs up the wall or Shavasana, regular Shavasana. Just rest in the position. You have a pillow or bolster under the thighs. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Inhale, Om. Exhale, Namo. starting to increase the length of your breath. Bending one knee at a time into the chest, rocking side to side, hanging on to whatever side feels most comfortable for you this morning. To a seated position, close, or you could keep lying down if you don't feel ready to move. Just noticing how you feel. The mind, body, breath. And a lot of grounding practices create more stability, more stim, more strength. The legs, feet, the mula, the root, your roots. Just below the belly button, down to the pelvic floor, down the legs and into the feet. That whole area from a yoga philosophy perspective is your root, your mula. The mula line. In order to grow and transform, we need to be well rooted, like a sunflower, blooming at the heart, hands at the heart. Invite you to bring in your favorite flower. Visualize that blooming at the heart, having done this hard work of rooting down. Can we now expand up, Udana, up, out into the world. Ending with Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.